Ye be listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk, a movie podcast where they be given pumps and dumps.
To Two Chunks and a Hunk.
Nice.
It's a movie podcast, and here we are, your hosts. I be Squinty Broadsides, and I'm the Hunk.
And I be Slippery Chairs Morgan. I brim with Hunk. I am Hunk's very soul. And because I am so hunkable, I will maroon you on a rock the size of this table, instead of splattering your brains across my bulkhead, as you deserve.
And I'm Dangerous Hellwind. Le Bastarde. And you should protect your school. That's not from the movie.
Do your
duty. And stop your chatter and hunk something Latinish.
Y'all.
But hey, before.
Yeah.
We're all hunks because pirates steal things, I guess.
No, it's because Captain Cotillion is a very polite boy, and he's the captain of our voyage.
Yes.
And he's made sure nobody feels like
feels left out.
Feels like they're less than the other pirates on board.
We appreciate him
on
for
board
that. And that's why he's the hunk.
Yes.
Because he's so good to us. Now, I'm the hunk because I went to a secret show at a secret theater in our area, and it was bananas.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it was absolutely
Super exclusive.
the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, is that guy in all black outside our window, is he coming for you? Because you just said that.
He's basically just following.
Okay, just trying to make sure.
Sort of me and what I do, just to
real
make sure
Resident
that I
Evil right now.
Just trying to make
keep
sure.
it quiet.
That's fair.
I did not like when you said that. Actually, like when you said that, I was like, "Oh, that freaks me out."
I'm the hunk because we had a surprise team building activity at work this past
Those
Wednesday.
are the best.
It was an escape room. And we get to the escape room and the guy goes, all right, you guys have booked our most difficult room.
You killed it, didn't you?
And it's called Escape from Blackbeard. Oh, it was a pirate escape room.
What?
And guess what, guys? We escaped from Blackbeard. We did it. We're a good team.
Heck
Yay!
yeah.
Yeah, very piratey.
That's amazing.
I thought a surprise escape room is when you accidentally lock yourself into a room.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's what it's like. Oh no, I guess it's an escape room.
Man, I wish I had some clues.
Here we go. I'm the hunk because, as you both know,
Sure.
you
don't even have to say
we
it.
needed the win last night. The Philadelphia Eagles
Philadelphia
beat
Eagles.
the Packers last night.
Packers.
So it was a big win. I mean,
Aaron
we
Rodgers.
were talking about it. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that more because of State Farm or because of football?
Because of he is a huge nerd and believes he's been abducted by aliens. And
Huh?
that's real.
He's the most interesting
I've
person in
listened to
football.
I've listened to him on podcasts before, and I love
Is
him.
this the connection to The Bachelor? Because of his brother that connected you to Aaron Rodgers?
No, he was on Pete Holmes' podcast and a couple others that I've listened to him. He genuinely believes he's been
You're
abducted.
kidding me.
Or not abducted. He believes he has seen UFOs with his own eyes. That's what it is.
Aaron Rodgers believes he has seen UFOs with his own eyes. The quarterback of the Green Bay Packers.
Yes.
He does.
Unironically believes that.
They are unidentified football objects, though. He just doesn't really understand the game
Joe's
very
making it a
much.
joke. I'm serious.
No, it is real alien UFOs.
He actually believes
Wow.
this.
Well, I'm glad we stumbled upon that.
And I love him for it.
I was gonna make.
Well,
a
he
joke.
lost last night.
I was gonna make a joke and say, does Mark Wahlberg still play for the Eagles? But this is way more interesting.
He does. He's a kicker.
What is that joke about?
Invincible.
Oh, I never saw it.
Can tell. Yeah. Oh, really? The one you don't know anything about.
Right. Yeah, no, I never saw it. Shocking, I know, but I never saw it. That's funny.
Oh.
Hey, I want to save as much time as humanly possible to talk about this movie. So let's
thanks.
jump on in. The movie we are discussing today is called Cutthroat Island.
Yeah.
And if you've never seen it, that's okay. And if you have seen it,
Sorry.
join us in our collective mindset. I don't know what to call where I am right now. Doge, I have not the creative energy in me to ask you in a special way. So would you just do me a kindness?
I felt special.
Yeah, more like emotionally special there.
Okay.
Give me a synopsis.
I'm excited to know what this movie's about.
I know. I hope somebody can explain it to me.
Okay.
Oh, man. Today's synopsis comes from IMDb user Jeremy Perkins, brackets J-26.
Ooh, Jay.
And my man J26 writes, Morgan Adams' father's dying gifts to her are his pirate ship and a 1/3 part of a map of a treasure island, unusually inscribed on his scalp.
Yep.
Thinking herself in need of a Latin scholar to unravel the map, she buys learned slave William Shaw and sets off in search of the rest of the map. However, it is Shaw, obviously with plans of his own, who gets the second part. He's somewhat easier to deal with, though, than the holder of the last part, Morgan's less than loving piratical Uncle Dog.
Ooh.
You have to be careful when using the word obviously about anything in this movie, I think.
Absolutely.
I don't know that anything was obvious to me. Let's jump in from the plank. Let's jump straight into the ocean of this movie.
I'm wondering if, so this was a little peek behind the curtain, a peek behind the Jolly Roger of Shiver Me Septimbers.
Sure.
This one was Carter's suggestion. This was not a movie I had really heard of.
I had never heard of it.
Carter, do you want to give us a little bit of what is this movie? Because I'm feeling that most of our listeners haven't watched this or heard of it.
Yeah.
So part of the reason that The Curse of the Black Pearl, which we did last week, was such a massive hit was because it essentially broke a curse.
Right.
It broke the curse of pirate movies. And at the very forefront here, not only for pirate movies, like this isn't just the worst pirate movie ever made. This, with inflation considered, there has not been a movie in the world that has lost more money than Cutthroat Island.
Versus its own budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. The budget to inflation, if that was made today, it'd be about $150 million, and it would have made $11 million in theaters.
Wow.
$130 million lost.
Gina.
Yeah. I mean,
so
it's rough.
Yeah, it's fun. I think, and I've always loved the B-movie vibe. Like in college, I used to gather people around. Let's watch a B-movie. Exactly, which we'll get to that in a little bit. But it's like,
you guys didn't get my joke.
C-movie.
There it is.
On the sea.
Oceans.
Very good.
But yeah, that's why we decided to do this. It's kind of been fun to bounce around and have four very different pirate movies.
Oh, man.
But here we are, and it's Cutthroat Island.
Yeah. So we open.
Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk
There's
about.
a lot happening at the beginning. And I'll say, from the moment the movie started, at first I was like, hey, at least it seems like the soundtrack is going to be like pretty cool. Like it seems like it's pretty good.
Also never stopped.
I
That's
hated
the
the
thing.
soundtrack so much.
Well, when it first
Also,
opened, I was like, this is like soaring
never
and
stopped.
epic and cool. And then every scene, no matter how small or insignificant, it was still soaring and epic and big. And then it just was.
You
The
tricked me into
whole-
it. The soundtrack is my super dump.
Is it really? It almost
it's-
was mine.
Like the music itself, if you were to just play the Cutthroat Island theme, that's a great theme for a pirate
it's
movie.
pretty good, right?
It is well written. It is used so poorly. Like from the very beginning,
There's not movement.
no,
it feels
it's
like
just
it's the same
hey,
trick.
settle down. Just settle down
Yeah.
in general.
Right. Even a little.
And I
Yeah.
feel like that's this whole movie. Like as I was watching through it, spoilers, I couldn't make it through this in one sitting.
Oh, really?
I watched 45 minutes of it one night and then had to finish it the next day because I got to the 45-minute mark and I was like,
Did you get
can't
through
take this
to
anymore.
the chase through Port Royal? And you were like, I'm
I got to the
out.
storm.
Like, guys,
Oh, yeah.
so this was 1995.
Yeah.
Other movies made in 1995 were Braveheart and Apollo 13.
Did it? Okay.
What happened?
Did
The
it feel to you at all that this movie was trying really, really, really hard to be Princess Bride again?
No.
Yes.
It felt like that to me.
It felt like it was
No.
like, what if Princess Bride had no self-awareness?
right.
No
Right.
way.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
It felt to me like
Is
they
it just
watched,
because he looks so much like...
well, that too. But there were just so many moments that they clearly thought like that line's gonna slay.
That is such a clever line.
I think what made it one of the things that made it so bad, I'm not going to make any claim on what made this movie bad, is I think it's trying to be an epic. I think it's trying to be
interesting.
Braveheart. Like,
Interesting.
with some humor. Like it's somewhere between Die Hard 2 and Braveheart.
Right.
On the sea. And they're just
what you
not.
just described sounds awesome. and it's not.
I kind of think this movie sounds awesome on paper.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go. I do. Actually, this is great. This is a good framing device for our podcast today. So my super pump is what this could have been. I know. It's all I can
This
think of.
sounds like the worst thing you could ever hear from like a parent.
So reachy.
My
It's all I
favorite
can
thing
think
about you is what you almost were.
I mean, yeah, that's how I feel. So
I just love the potential that you never realized.
I want to call it the story, but it's too bloated. I definitely am not going to call it the script. So I'm going to call it what it could have been. And here's what I mean by
The
that.
idea.
Think about this. Seriously, take a second. It's a female-led pirate movie.
That's a big deal.
It's a female-led pirate movie where the story is 3 pirate brothers split a treasure map 3 ways so they could never find it without the other 2.
Yeah.
One brother goes rogue and gets to killing so he can get all 3 parts. I even kind of love the idea of him not being able to find one of their maps and then realizing that person tattooed the map on. I mean, that's a cool plot device.
Deathly Gallows?
It's gross.
Yeah, very good.
But that's a cool plot device.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I love the idea of the maps are in Latin, so we need to bring in this scholar and help us out. Like, it's all cool, particularly 2 pirate ships, one with an entire crew held hostage by people below sight level, gaining on another pirate ship.
Yeah,
that moment
that's cool.
has the potential to be so tense and so amazing.
But
it wasn't. But it had the potential. And so as I'm watching, all I can think, and so here's what I did. I spent the last 30 minutes this movie was going during the 30-minute action sequence that was just too much. I spent that entire time recasting this movie for today in my head. And here's where I landed.
Let me hear it. Who's better than Gina Davis to play a pirate captain?
So Captain Morgan, which is hilarious.
Can I share mine too?
Yeah,
because I did the same
absolutely.
thing.
Evan Rachel Wood.
Great. Hey, I was also thinking Evan Rachel Wood.
Evan Rachel Wood is perfect.
I said Emily Blunt in my head.
Very good.
Yeah.
So the Latin expert, I'm taking away all action hero elements. He's just a scholar, and he's a scholar who is imprisoned, and it's Diego Luna.
Yeah.
And he is a professor.
I like that.
Wrongfully accused, put in jail. She has to break him out.
That's cool.
And Dog is, of course, Tom Hardy.
Ooh.
And nobody else matters. Who cares?
Yeah.
We can
I
cast
think
nobody
Daniel
who's
Day-Lewis comes out of retirement.
Okay. So we're just shooting for the moon.
Daniel Day-Lewis lives as a pirate for like 6 years for this role. Yeah.
Probably.
Do you hear I'm at, though?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I do. And I had those moments. I really did. Yeah, I totally hear
it. It was all wasted.
My super dump?
We're just blowing through all of
No.
Talk about.
Is the director.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
I can't. How did you, in 1995, how did you say, okay, let's just, we got it.
How did you
love
beef
that
it
you
this
can
hard?
hear how mad all of us are at this movie. Like, I'm looking at our faces when we start to get like passionate about what we're saying right now, and it's not happy passion. All
I
of us
can
are like,
imagine
this
this dude
stupid
being like,
movie.
wow, another one take. Like, just like,
yeah, no, that was good. Let's
stars
clean it up.
aligning much? It
We
just
didn't
like,
even have to rehearse.
yeah, it was just.
Yeah, they couldn't have. There's no chance anybody rehearsed anything.
But I mean, Gina wanted out.
Oh,
Gina Davis
did,
wanted
apparently.
out. And then you look at the list of what they wanted it to be. You talk about all the actors that you think could replace him.
Dude, reading the list of
So
everybody
many
that
people
turned it down was amazing.
I did not
They
read
shot
that
for the
list.
moon, bro. Like, they were like,
Please share that list. I didn't read that list.
Tom Cruise was one of them. I know that at one point, the guy that plays in Gladiator, that plays the pitmaster,
Yeah.
he was attached to the movie and got canned. And when he got canned, he was like, thank God.
male lead, which would mean this would be our Latin guy.
Shaw.
Tom Cruise, Daniel Day-Lewis, Keanu Reeves, Liam Neeson, Jeff Bridges, Ralph Fiennes, Charlie Sheen, Russell Crowe, Tim Robbins.
These are all the people that said no.
Gabriel Byrne, Michael Keaton, all turned down.
So they don't
the
know
middle.
what they're going for. Those guys don't have anything in common other than being famous.
Being dudes. Right.
Well, and having good taste.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
they all turned down this role.
Matthew Modine is good too. Sometimes.
Yeah.
He's bad in this.
Right.
Let's start talking about it.
Let's start
because
talking about
we're
it.
going to get trapped in Super Pump and Super Dump right here and then have to just hang out for the rest of the hour.
So we open this movie and it starts, movie enough, right? It's the opening to a movie. The screen turns on, lights move, you watch characters do things, and there's sound happening.
So
It's
I guess
a movie.
that's a technical success.
I liked the Michael Bolton music video that was her going down that sandbar.
Right.
That was a fun time. But then it gave me a kick in slow motion of a pirate
What
who
was
was guarding
up with
the
that?
beach.
It wasn't even a kick. She tackles.
She was also on this horse for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could see them coming. This dude is the worst.
He's just like, wait, no. Dude, hey, but here's one thing I realized. We don't get enough shots of horses running through water in movies.
pretty cool though.
On top of that sandbar, that was kind of dope.
That was very cool.
That was pretty dope.
Then she two-footed kick tackles him from the back of the horse.
Kickle.
Captain Morgan. I mean, we're really getting to see her skill set. I think that's why they did that. They introduced
her skill
what
set,
she's capable of,
I
which
think her
is
skill set is slow motion kicks.
the physically impossible. Yes.
Yes.
The physically impossible, certainly. We'll get there too. So she goes to rescue a character named Black Harry, who I guess is her dad.
Uh-huh.
And she saves him from...
He's got a peg leg, so we got that. We
So-
checked that box.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he didn't jump into the boat.
You're not
'Cause he
supposed to
could
think
s-
about it, man.
he
Just
could
turn
see
it's
her.
a pirate adventure.
It was wild.
Yep.
And
Well, that would hurt, wouldn't it? From that high up.
probably.
He
Yeah.
can't. His leg's made of wood. The boat's made of wood. I think they would stick together.
Well, he's also tied to an anchor, so he can't jump onto the boat.
Right, but he's hanging on to the side of her boat, telling her, no, when he could be like, hey, jump in and cut the anchor real quick, is what I'm saying. He could have jumped, climbed up in the boat and held his leg up
And
real
the
quick and
force
be like,
of him,
cut.
of that anchor and her holding onto him, broke the boat.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
There's just a lot going on here. But anyway, she scalps her dad and she's fine with it.
What? And
She's
we,
fine with it.
We carry around.
her dad in our waistband.
Yeah, we carry around his scalp the whole movie.
And she's fine with it. I want to reiterate that she's fine with it.
Listen, I've not carried a scalp around. I never will. If I do, I will shave it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Gross.
Uh-huh.
Hey, and if I do, not going to be fine with it.
No.
Anytime somebody's like, hey, can I see the map again? I'm going to be like, do you have to right now?
Yeah, sure.
Just kept waiting for another pirate to see the scalp and be like, the maze is not for you.
Right.
It was very, very Westworld.
Right.
Yes.
And
very
gross.
much
But
so.
nasty,
by the way.
because that's
Also
a
gross.
That's a robot scalp, and this one
This is a people's scalp.
A people's scalp.
And I also want to point out, there's only one person that ever has a problem with what it is or finds out what it is.
Yeah.
There's only one pirate that's like, it's his bloody scalp.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie, everybody's like, it must be some sort of
It's what you
leather
do.
or pigskin or something.
The fact that like when she scalps him, it's like pretty pink and like still round, and over the course of the movie, it gets gray and more flat. Like
Makes me think they actually use skin.
Why did
Hurrah
we-
for realism, I guess, right?
yeah, why did we spend that extra time? Like, who cares about making sure we rehearse these scenes? Let's make sure that the scalp looks like it actually decays.
So I know why they blew their budget,
What?
and it's on pyro and special effects, but they also had to have blown their budget on morbidly realistic, like gore.
There was so much of this movie that was almost my version of your child reaction to Pirates of the Caribbean. Where I was like, that is too much.
Yeah, like so many like bodies. Hey, speaking of which, that I guess the Pope died that they're carrying through the town.
Yeah, dude, that
So, first
creepy
of all,
body that's
Is Catholicism big in the Bahamas? And second of all, why'd he shatter? Hey guys, why'd he shatter though?
Oh no.
Hey, the body shatters when they drop it. Hey guys,
Was that a statue?
I thought maybe it was like gonna reveal that they were smuggling something, and then they never addressed it again.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know what that was, but we do see a dude's face shatter off.
Like made of porcelain.
Yeah. I feel like it's got to like, are they carrying a statue?
Now
I
this is
thought
too far
They were
ahead.
smuggling. Yeah,
Because
you're right.
we
Yes,
have
yes, yes.
passed we have passed the dance where we are introduced
Oh my
to
gosh.
our man who can only now here's the thing. He can read Latin, but only if it's not backwards.
It's true.
Cause Latin backwards, unrecognizable.
It's not even the same thing.
Can't even recognize it. Looked at some Latin symbols. Several of them are symmetrical. So there's that too. This is how much I was like, no.
And he is just absolutely trying to be Wesley from The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
We can all agree that.
So
right?
this boy's name is Shaw. And I think he is...
Willy Shaw.
I think he is the dumbest Shaw that we've talked about in the last 6 months. I think Deckard Shaw would be a way better fit in this movie from Hobbs and Shaw than this Shaw.
I think so
Speaking
too.
of Shaw, there's something I noticed about this movie.
You know who this guy is? Shaw. He's Eleven's.
Oh, yeah. Matthew Modine.
Yeah, Matthew Modine. Gotcha.
So there's something that I noticed about this movie, and it is that of any movie we have ever reviewed, the people in this movie be the Wii Sports craziest.
It's up there.
This whole movie, everybody's like,
oh, but what about...
You trying to play tennis?
Yeah.
What's up?
What about Wii Sports?
I know I've just performed gut surgery on you, but...
Does this make you want to play games?
Yeah. It's really strange.
It kept happening. And Callie and I would be like, what?
Why? Yeah.
Why in this scenario? I don't know. It was also weird. Also, I really thought the guy who played Trotter?
Yeah.
I really thought he was the butler from The Parent Trap, but it's not.
It does look like him.
Looks a lot like him, but it's not, which is a huge bummer. But anyway, we get the dance.
Uh-huh.
And then an escape scene. Because he's decided that in addition to being a Latin professor and a fake doctor, he's a pickpocket.
He's stolen everybody's stuff.
All their stuff.
So we get, it's hard to remember really the order in which these things occur, because I get the sense that nothing in this movie feels like a logical progression from what comes before.
Yeah. No.
I feel like as they're cutting this together in the edit bay, they're like, man, it's been 5 minutes since anybody's had any kind of an action scene. Let's make a big explosion or a big fight or a big running thing.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Or in some cases, all three.
Exactly.
But wait.
There's more.
We're still talking about Deckard Shaw. Isn't that what the Fast franchise is?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is.
But
I
it's
think-
just better movie making,
I
right?
think
Why do we like the Fast franchise?
The chief sin of this movie, and it is the fact that it has so little self-awareness.
Yeah.
That is part of it, for sure.
Speaking of the Wii Sports thing, Gina Davis decides to... here's the thing. Her undercover Lady of the Night outfit looks almost exactly like what she was wearing in the first place.
Yeah.
There is too much red. Everybody wears white, black, and red in some combination of that.
That's also the colors of the ship.
I know. There is too much white, black, and red. I can't tell anybody apart.
Was the lady that she asked how much, was that also Gina Davis?
No.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I think that was Dina Javis.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I know her.
So that scene... Are we in a brothel? Is that where we are?
Are we jumping to...
Can we do that?
Looking for Shaw. They're looking for somebody. No.
No, we can't do that because we got to have...
We got to go to Shaw before we go to the
Yeah.
island with the brothel.
Yeah.
Because they've already got
That's
him by
right.
then.
That's right. Yeah.
So they're going to find a guy who can speak Latin.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
they apparently find out that Shaw is imprisoned and he can speak Latin.
Great.
So they go to Port Royal and they're going to bid on him, where another Wii Sports crazy dude is bidding on him as well. And Gina Davis points a knife at his beans.
Yeah.
She's definitely bean knifer throughout the...
Yeah. She tends to target the beans.
She goes for the beans. That's for sure.
This is the movie. From now on, this is just known as the movie where Gina Davis points knives at beans.
Bean Knife Island.
Gina Davis is
Bean Knifer. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Hey, she's so bad.
Yeah.
I've never
It's
seen
bad.
She's so bad.
I have never seen... We've watched like 107, I think, movies for this podcast. I have never seen a performance as bad as Gina Davis.
I'm including, oh, here we go.
I'm including Paul. I'm including Run the Tide.
I've heard of phoning it in.
You know what would help them?
She's snail mailing it in. She's so far away from whatever's happening on screen. At
Yes.
one point, she literally is like, "Pirates, look to me for captain. I'm the one that you should be after." Okay, that's good, right?
The best part to me is to skip ahead to the very end for a second.
Yeah,
Whenever totally not Wesley goes, well, At least we're alive. And we're alive together. And there will always be another treasure. And Gina Davis does this exact laugh.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And then she goes,
She gave up.
"As a barrel. Is a finding barrel. It's attached to the other end. That's what's important." Oh my gosh. I mean, she just
Well, it's also dubbed over. I feel like it's all dubbed over.
a lot of it
everything
was
is
ADR.
Ugh. And bad.
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
So you actually are getting the actors' reactions from a sound booth.
For a lot of this
Yeah.
movie, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
But-
can't live in the moment when the moment never existed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gina Davis was almost my super dump for this
Same
movie
here.
Yeah.
because of how bad she is.
Yeah.
I mean, with a lot of these B movies, what's charming about them is that you can tell the people in it, even if the movie is a 2 out of 10, they believed in it while they were making it.
Yeah.
Right.
And they
yeah.
were so amped on it,
Right.
and they were trying so hard.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing
I don't
that here.
see that with this one.
And
Nobody's
it is
doing that here.
juxtaposed to like the sweeping set and the big explosions. It's like there should be more here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow this movie manages to be so much less than the sum
Literally
of
the
its
most
parts.
Oh, yeah.
emotional things in this are inanimate objects, not humans.
Yeah. So we're in, can we go to Brothel City now?
No,
Well,
because
no,
we have
we
to.
blew up a city trying to
blew
chase
up-
them on a
oh,
carriage.
Port
yeah.
Royal.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's
she
right.
does the stunt. This stunt is like in movie history as one of the most ridiculous things ever.
She would have to have run faster than a horse-drawn carriage.
Yep.
Through an apartment.
Yep.
Up through
Yeah.
a window.
That's
This was
right.
Shattered the
so
window.
street rat.
Through an
This was so Aladdin.
Yeah.
Right, but even Aladdin would have been like, "Can you go slow so that I can make it to the
Sure,
other?"
sure,
Would this
sure.
have been improved if it was a musical?
I don't know. I don't want to think of that.
I don't
Maybe.
I don't want to waste good music on.
There's part of me that
This.
thinks like I would forgive a lot of the execution if there was a bunch of songs and dances.
She
If
like
the whole
flipped
thing is
and-
just the Cantina song from Star Wars. Like
Yeah,
she shatters
that's
that
fair.
window.
That's fair.
I dig it. I dig it.
And it's just the Muppets singing "We've Got Cabin Fever" to that tune the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great.
And then
She's
only
really in
Muppets
there.
song.
She's really in there too long. And that's another. She's so deadpan. Like she's not emotional enough to be like, "Oh, so sorry." Like she's not. She's
Right.
like,
Oh, I'm
Excuse me.
sorry.
oh, my bad.
If
Oh,
it-
oof. I think she might have said oof at one point.
If it was played up as like, "Oops, sorry, excuse me. Oh, that smells delicious," like that kind of thing, I still don't think it'd be good. But
I feel like this movie thought it was Indiana Jones, like tonally.
I was gonna say because I wanted us to bring up. There's some Magoo type things in this movie, and I can't help but think of my biggest like wah moment in maybe a Spielberg movie is that Temple of Doom thing we referenced
Yeah.
last week when they're on this raft that falls off of a cliff and into a river.
Correct.
And
yeah.
everyone's fine and it doesn't tip over. So that kind of stuff. But
just that for 2 hours though is this movie.
Well, I
Right.
feel like that kind of like the Raiders of the Lost Ark, particularly the thing that I think of is when Indy faces off against the sword guy and he's like doing all these sword tricks
And
and,
then
Indy
shoots
just
him.
shoots him. Like, I feel like that moment is the tone we're going for with this whole movie, where it's like
yeah.
sweeping, swashbuckling epic with modern humor sensibilities in it. And we just don't even come close, you guys.
Yeah, it's barely a swing. Somehow they missed a bunt.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
It's bad news.
But I gotta say, I laughed at it a lot
I did too.
out loud.
Oh, I did.
Out loud, I laughed at it
Out
a
loud,
lot.
big time.
There's one scene in particular. We're going to bounce around because it's so nonsensical. We could tell you this movie takes place in any order, and if you haven't seen it, you'd believe it. There's one scene where the kind of fat guy sets a pigeon free, and I rewound it because his face
Is
when he sets this pigeon free,
distraught.
he's just like, fly, you bird. Like
And
it's
the
so
music.
my bird.
It was
The
just like
music
this.
is unbelievable in that too. It's like
Oof.
Over the top.
I can't even describe it.
Can we?
He lets this pigeon go, and it's a CG pigeon flying at the screen, and I was like in tears at this guy.
before the halfway mark, please let me go to the brothel.
Let's go to the
I never
brothel.
thought I would
Please
say
go
that.
to the
before.
brothel.
Let's go to
Island.
the brothel.
So a couple things happen here. One, we really get to know one of the henchmen better of Dog, who is his arm, his chain
Are we
arm,
talking about Chain Hand?
chain hand.
Oh,
this
you talking
character
about God
as
of
a
War 1 Kratos?
Yeah.
This character as a whole is bad direction. You had a chance. Here's what you had to do, Cutthroat Island, to at least be something. to at least be a B movie, just put a spiky ball on the end of that chain.
Yeah.
That's like a metaphor for the script.
Give the people what they want.
Hey, man, just put a spiky ball on the end of that chain. What use except getting stuck on things? Everyone knew how this dude was going to die. It's because his stupid chain hand's going to get stuck on something. Everybody knew this.
To be clear,
And at his funeral, they were like, well,
His name was Old Chainhead.
to be clear, this is a character whose hand is like a 6-foot chain.
He chose a 6-foot chain.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, I just imagine someone be like, anything? And he's like,
That
what's
one.
that over there holding up that thing? He was like, that's a chain. Sounds pretty
That's what
cool.
that's the one.
Not a
That's
hook,
so
not
heavy.
a sword,
That's
not a mace.
so heavy.
A 6-foot chain.
My super pump happens in this movie, though, because
That's good
In
because
this
that's the movie
movie?
we're
Yeah,
talking
in
hope
about.
this
it does.
very movie, there's a super pump I have. No, it's in the same scene. So Dog,
I wish, before you start on this, I wish Chain Hand was Dog. Why wasn't that guy the villain?
I don't know. Dog decides he's gonna threaten old Captain Morgan. So what he does, because thankfully, see, this is why it's a super pump for me, because this is B movie gold.
Right.
He looks down into this barrel of eels, like big. This looks like an electric eel.
Oh, you mean like from The Princess Bride?
Yes, I know, like the screeching eels. And he's like, I'm going to threaten you with this eel. I'm going to grab this eel and stuff the eel's face in yours. This made me so happy.
Dude,
Yes.
And the thing is, eels aren't snakes.
No.
Out of water, useless.
Yeah. Pretty useless.
It's like hissing like an anaconda.
Right.
It would, like, I wish that he had actually pressed it against her face and we just get to
Like
see
aliens?
it, like, it not actually bite. It's just like,
It's just like trying to breathe.
Yes. So it was like, and I love villains.
But you loved it? Yeah.
I love villains, and so I love, like, some of my favorite ones would just do anything. Like, they're just crazy, and they're so aloof that it's like, I'm terrified of this person. They
Yeah.
can't do that. They did that so wrong.
Yeah, it did not work.
He's
for me.
random exclamations. They didn't even finish, like, okay, put a spiky ball on the end of the chain, finish his neck scar.
Yeah.
Do it across his whole throat or up his face. Why is it just a half? It was like, yeah, I had my tonsils taken out.
I
the
spun out.
old-fashioned way.
Jeez.
Through the outside.
And yeah, chain hand looked better. He looked
Yeah.
like a better
He's
villain.
a way cooler villain.
Anyways, that was my super pump. I was like, okay, I can enjoy it. I can have fun here.
Yeah. I'm glad actually
This is
that
fun for me.
Somebody said like, that's the second city you've destroyed. I liked that. That was
Yeah.
funny.
Were either of y'all momentarily thrown by the fact that we meet 2 men who are each her uncle on this island?
Yeah.
I think I was keeping up.
I was very surprised. I think I had maybe just missed that line of dialogue, but she met Uncle Mordecai. I was like, oh, cool, it's her uncle. And then she met Uncle Dog. And I was like, is there anybody in this island who is not her uncle?
Yeah.
So I think Cutthroat would have been a cooler name for this movie. Just Cutthroat. I
I
also
think his name should have been Cutthroat because he had a big cut on his
Right.
throat.
I also think the Cutthroat Brotherhood is kind of a cool name
Yeah.
for a movie
It is.
and sort of sets up what's
I mean,
happening.
we can change our podcast name if you want.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the Cutthroat Brotherhood, a movie podcast where we give pumps and dumps.
So this is a pirate world that we've been presented where everything is explosive. And pirates, they have rewritten history to where pirates have invented C4
Yeah.
because every explosion is instantly fatal. Like
Yep.
there is no
Not every explosion.
That's true. That's a good point. Hey,
Not every explosion.
and before we move on to more explosions, dives, drive-ins, head with the 3 of us and Guy Fieri into
Flavor Town.
shout announcements.
This be shout announcements.
Your mouth got so small right before you started talking.
It's the part of the show where we give shout outs and make announcements.
That
And
voice lasted so much longer than I thought it
That's
would.
probably the last time we're going to hear from
I think
Squinty.
it is. I
That's
think it
too
is.
bad.
Man.
I'll miss him.
R.I.P..
I'll miss him forever
Dang, walk the plank, I guess.
into eternity. So we want to give our first couple of shout outs. You know them. You love them. First of all, obviously, Tyler Station.
There it is.
It's where we are. It's where we are.
That's where we are.
Yeah, Squinty's back. Tyler Station. It's where we are. Also want to give a shout out to Crumb and Kettle coming in clutch.
You know this.
Clutch with that cold brew.
You do know.
Saving my life.
Take
Also,
all my early morning monies.
please. Shout out also to Podbean. We pay you money and we put
Puts
stuff
stuff
on
on
you. It's mostly
What's our
entirely
podcast?
our podcast.
Podbean.
Podbean.com.
My first time.
You did it.
I was good. We were all together on that one.
It was great. I'd love to continue to shout out what I think we're going to call a member of our family of podcasts. Because we're all about stories, aren't we?
Yes.
Family.
We're not
Thank
as
you.
much about a story today, but most of the time we're about stories.
Most of the time
We're about
we're
what
about
is supposed to be a story.
Ben, Sam, and Emily Larzabal. So Ben and his wife and then Ben's little brother have a podcast called Story Shaped Life that we are having the opportunity for season 2 to help out a little bit. And so it's going to be a lot on emotions. And so that's going to be a ton of fun. Listen in. Mooey educational. Also, got good news, guys.
Tell me the good news.
We found a famous.
Ooh, we did.
We found a famous. So for our birthday celebration, which we're about to be 2 years old, and we've already warned you,
Terrible. Oh, we're going to
Yeah.
be so terrible.
Yeah, there it is.
we're going to be pretty terrible. But we have him, and we are, the ball is rolling on getting that episode out, and
Sure.
we'll have some special.
It's going to be super awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll have some homework probably for
Yeah,
the Chunkies
I think so.
before that episode that I think will make the listen a little bit better.
But keep your hopes high.
Yeah.
Keep in
Fair
mind.
warning on that one. Our second birthday is October 10th, but that episode will not release on October 10th.
Because
Our-
he's famous.
Our boy's so
and we got to
famous.
work around
'Cause
his
it- yeah,
schedule.
yeah,
We got to work around his schedule.
Hard to do. So
It is coming though. We
be on the
promise.
lookout. And before our big, and I'm telling you, Chunkies, because I know you were thinking, let me turn this down while I order my McDonald's McGriddle. Don't turn it down. Pause it.
Pause
Because
it.
after me is one of the biggest announcements we've ever had.
Yeah. A long-awaited announcement.
Our
Long awaited.
moms are coming on the show.
Also,
the moms.
while you're chomping on that McGriddle, can I even say that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
I think we'll lose our clean tag on iTunes.
Be sure and rate and review if you haven't.
Please.
Now, we've met our goal. We had a goal by October, but that doesn't mean that's a goal for our lives.
Our new goal is 1 million.
1 million reviews. Please help
We're
us
pretty
get
close.
Yeah, we're getting
there.
closer
We can't
every day.
we can't do this without
That's
you
true.
and everyone you know and everyone they know and everyone they know.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
please continue to rate, review, follow us on Instagram, where Doge continues to be a social media wizard.
It's true.
We're posting some real fun pictures of our pirate alter egos.
Yes.
So be sure to check those out. Other things that you need to check out. Next week, you may know that we will be done with Shiver Me Septimbers.
Bye.
And it will be but a speck on the horizon
Mhm.
sailing into the distance. But we will be reviewing a movie that we're all very excited about.
Mhm.
Bust out your Sharpies. Write the word damaged on your forehead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Put in a grill.
Because that's the version we want.
And it's going to be wild.
We're going to be reviewing Joker next
Woo!
week. And as we all know,
With Joaquin Phoenix.
Joker is the pirate of Gotham.
It's true.
So it's kind of tangentially related. But after that,
Oh, boy.
after Joker,
Oh, boy.
we are embarking on our non-pirate ship, on perhaps our spaceship,
The most
on a very
Asked
special voyage to a galaxy far, far away.
It's finally happening.
After Joker comes out, we're going to be spending the rest of the year reviewing every Star Wars movie, aside from the animated Clone Wars movie,
Oh, man.
leading up to the December release of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. We're very excited.
I want to hear from listeners. I want to hear from Chunkies if they have noticed that we have brought up Star Wars in every episode for the last 2 months.
Yeah, we've been sneaking it in.
We've been
called-
dropping Star Wars references.
But yeah, so Star Wars is happening. 11 movies. And we will be doing these in
Yikes.
the order in which they were made.
Correct. Release order.
Correct.
Release order, because that's kind of we're getting into a environment here. There's a lot of passion.
There sure is.
It's going to be, there's a lot to do here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of groundwork that we got to cover.
Gosh,
So-
so much.
Tell your friends, tell your enemies. We're gonna
Tell
be
your
review-
moms.
Tell your moms. We're going to be reviewing Star Wars.
Moms love us. So that concludes it. This has been Shout announcements.
I would say maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I had this vision of being out by the pool, going on vacation soon, family vacation, going to Disney World, and family members being able to be like, Carter, you're looking fit, man. You're looking better. Like this is for like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Then I realized in that moment, as I'm getting so excited, that, well, I still have to. I got to work out for the next 5 months for that to even happen, right? So us just coming from a shout announcement where we say we're about to do Star Wars for the rest of the year, and then remembering, wait, we still have half of Cutthroat Island to review.
Yeah.
Pretty same feelings.
Yeah, it does.
Just thought I'd share that. It's just like,
No, I think that's what we
have
come back
to,
into
though.
the episode on. Hey, we're back, everybody. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Carter brings up
Yikes.
an excellent point.
I don't want to do it now.
I wish
Because
you could
there's
have seen
so much
that
happening.
was not intended to be part of the show. I wish you could have seen Carter's 1,000-yard stare as he was telling us that story, just realizing what he has left in front of him.
Yeah.
What we all have
Now
left.
there's highs, but there's
There's
lows.
some pretty intense lows.
There's one of the highest highs I've ever seen in a movie.
No doubt.
One of my
I mean,
favorite movie moments
we have
is
to
coming.
wait though.
We have to wait.
I'm confused because I
Let's-
don't know what you're talking about.
We'll get there.
In the real world, it's not. I'm going to say that Pirates of the Caribbean did a good job of making a fantasy world for us that we don't have to be like, you would have died. Well, actually,
Yeah.
no, because they're cursed.
Right.
Yeah.
In a real world, how many of these people should still be alive at the end of the day?
Almost none.
Zero.
Zero.
Dude, their stunt when they jump through the scaffolding and it just keeps breaking underneath them. We didn't talk about that. First
It's
of all,
a toy.
I could see where
had
all
a
the
toy like this.
I could see where all the boards were cut. First of all,
Yeah.
it was poorly hidden, but they're dead. I mean, they're dead.
Well, that's not even the most egregious.
You're right.
Not even.
gets
that's
worse.
third most
It gets
egregious.
So we're on the boat. We're going. We get the other map, and we're in a storm. That's what happens. We're in a storm.
Mutiny.
Yeah.
In this storm, it takes forever.
Can we talk about Mr. Glasspool?
What about him?
Morgan?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Morgan.
He just couldn't even. He
Morgan?
couldn't even do an accent.
Right, Morgan.
Nobody could.
Nobody could do accents.
This is like,
So let's rein it in, guys. We can't blame the movie for what it's already done to us. We got to
That's fine.
keep moving.
That's fine. That's fine.
yeah.
So
We
the,
gotta.
the mutiny, the mutiny that happens.
Which is the nicest pirate mutiny I've ever seen.
It is. So before we get to the mutiny, hold on. At one point, she flicks a roach off a biscuit and still eats the biscuit. That's not even pirates. That's gross. Second of all, where the roaches come from? They're in the ocean. Did they bring the roaches on with
Probably
them?
with food.
So the roaches are just living in the food?
Yeah.
Probably. How can you not believe that?
That's horrific.
But that's probably the one thing that I'm like, I get that
No.
about this movie.
No. Of all,
Well, how can you?
no
why
bugs
don't you, why
is
don't
like
you
the
feel that
benefit
way
of being
about
a pirate.
rats?
No way.
Why don't you feel that way about rats?
No bugs is the benefit of being a pirate's kind of tough, but I'm out on the ocean. There's no spiders and roaches here.
But
so
they
I'm
live
fine.
on your boat.
Where do they come from? They don't swim.
Port.
Well, don't park as close to the
When you
edge.
bring when
You
you
want
bring
this to work
when
so
you bring a
bad.
bag of potatoes on your boat, maybe a roach lives in that bag.
You
There's
gotta
not a-
check your potatoes, guys.
Guarantee
That's
ya.
disgusting.
Hey, mosquitoes don't live in my car, but
But they get in there.
sometimes they get in there.
But there's 1,000 of them.
I mean, you know where roaches like to live, right? Beans.
That's true.
We already established.
So the
there's
whole
lots of
time
beans
she's
in
been
this
an
movie.
exterminator. She's just trying to kill those
She's trying to
roaches.
kill
Those
trying to
bean
knife the
roaches.
beans.
Those bean roaches.
Kill the
Oh.
roach food.
So there is, So Dr. Wesley Willy Billy
Shaw.
Shaw.
Wesley Willy Billy Shaw.
Wesley Willy Billy Shaw is not a doctor, pretends to be a doctor, and is like, everybody clear out so I can fix this wound. And then does nothing. And then they're like,
No, he removes the ball.
should we make out now? And they're
Yeah.
both like, that feels about right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Probably should.
And then after that, it just kind of, everything goes wild. It's like, put him in the brig because he stole the other part of the map. He was lying. There's a monkey for some reason.
King Charles.
King Charles,
Charles.
which is a funny name for a monkey.
I like that he was taught to salute and smile. I think that's very funny. And then the mutiny happens during the storm. So now we're at the mutiny. It is the nicest mutiny. It's just like, hey,
Nobody died. They don't kill anybody.
I don't know that really so I think we're maybe moving in two different directions. So if you would just get in the lifeboat.
It's a Captain Cotillion style mutiny.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the way he would do it.
But here's the thing. Do you remember the reason they give for their mutiny?
Straight up did not remember there was a mutiny until we started talking about this.
The guy who leads the mutiny, he's like, we're not going on some harebrained adventure to some island just on your whim. We're getting out of this storm under my leadership. Do you guys remember where they ended up?
On that island.
On the island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why the mutiny?
Yep. No, don't think about it. Because it's a pirate movie and it has to have a mutiny. Like, that's the thing. Like, it seems very intent on checking the boxes of, like, pirate movies. There's got to be a mutiny. It's got to be a storm. Everybody's got to wash up on the beach and wake up at the exact same time on the same island that they were actually trying to get to.
I did say that. I was like, oh, how convenient they all. Because, like, you know what's, you know when the first one to wake up on a piece of driftwood and then, like, all your friends aren't awake yet and you don't know if their parents are awake downstairs and you're like, where do they keep their cereal? Yeah. And you're like, ugh.
And you're like,
I don't know how
their TV channels are different.
They have satellite and you have cable and you don't know how to find
like
Disney.
which remote.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. It's so so I'm glad they all woke up at the same time.
Yeah.
Hey, how did Shaw get out? His hands were chained together. How did he swim?
Dude, have you seen this guy, though? He escapes everything.
He didn't have driftwood. He just swam to
shore. At one point, when he is, and again, forgive me if it's hard to keep track of all the times he's been tied up.
Oh, his hands weren't chained. He bit through a rope in about 6 minutes.
There was also one where, like, he transferred from a rope to a mast, but they weren't connected. He did like this fake, like, I'm trying to like pull a penny from behind your ear, like magic trick for a kid. It was like this weird thing where he was like, zzz, and then separately is this mast, and he just goes and like moves his hand over to the. Did you notice that?
No, I did not notice that. That's hilarious.
It's really weird.
Did you notice that his shoes disappear, and reappear based on convenience in this movie?
I mean, that sounds like life. When I get home, I take them off.
When they're climbing down the cliff, he's barefoot, and then they get to the bottom of the cliff. He's wearing boots again.
You didn't hear, under his breath. He said, "Go gadget shoes."
Go gadget boots. Yeah. Go gadget shoes. So, upon arrival to Cutthroat Island, we realize that all 3 bands of pirates and navalmen are now here.
Yeah, good pirates, bad pirates, redcoats. They're all here.
Where have we seen that before?
Right, but it happened after.
That's fair.
So we came up. You totally ripped that from Curse of Black Pearl.
Was anybody expecting something supernatural to happen in that cave?
I thought the treasure was going to be cursed.
Yeah, well,
I thought the treasure was going to be a little more extravagant.
Yeah.
The first time they looked, they're like real pumped about something, and we focused so much on them being like,
they tried to do Spielberg face.
Exactly.
But it was. I didn't know what it was the first time they did the shot because it was so far away.
Like, is most of it underwater?
And so bright. I was like, what is it? What did you find?
Well, and I like how, again, in this movie, we're just unfazed by horrific things. They're just like, guarded by those who never grew old, while they're like standing and like handling all these skulls. They're like, this is dumb.
That's a dumb riddle because they grew old enough to die.
Right. I thought it would be children, I thought it would be zombie children, and I thought that's where the movie was headed.
That's the thing.
Dude,
I thought it was going to be like
much credit.
I got pretty pumped.
Guarded by those who never grew old. I thought this was going to be the Fountain of Youth.
Right. Ooh.
Which would have been amazing.
Yeah, it would have been pretty good.
But it's like, no, it's
a
dead,
curse.
It's dead people.
Yeah. And so like the reason it's the Fountain of Youth keeps you young forever, but you die. So you're like a child zombie, and it's then a bunch of children zombies they have to get out. I thought we were heading in that direction.
Really?
And I started to wake back up a little bit. I was like, oh, here we go.
That would have been real cool.
And then they were just like, the skulls of the dead, they never grew old. Do you want a skull? Do you want a whole skull for a second? And everybody's like, I'm okay. I got some skull at home. I don't understand.
Yep.
So I guess now is the time.
Which again, tedious work. Who took all the treasure out? What was that process?
So I don't know how they found the rest of the treasure, because all they were bringing out was that one chest. And then we cut to them having all of the treasure. They don't know where it was. They don't have the map.
And then they load the treasure onto their boat. And broad overview, the boat sinks. She ties a barrel to it. And then they get all the treasure from the bottom of the ocean.
Because the barrel was tied to a bunch of loose coins.
And they, I guess, used the crane on their boat to dig it up from the bottom of the ocean.
I played Wind Waker. That's probably about it.
Did they go and swim down and carry, like, here's 4 coins. There's some more down there.
You saw how far down she swam to save her dad. She can do it. So,
all right, we're back in the cave.
Well, there's nothing left there except I do want to say
the shooting of depth in this movie is really bad. Because
Yes.
I am lost. I don't know where I am.
Right.
Like I didn't know that was a bridge that they were crawling across and being real careful because I couldn't see the bottom.
Right.
Like it was so strange.
Was it a bridge? I thought it was a sloped part of the wall.
It could have been.
I don't know. It's very unclear.
So here's the thing. My super dump is the script of this movie. And I'm talking about it now because the reveal of the treasure is one of the most egregious points because there should have been something, some sort of exclamation, some sort of moment of happiness. And it was just like, we did it. We found the treasure. Okay, I'll get on getting it out of here, I guess. I'll bring it up to the top. There's nothing. I mean, the dialogue in this movie might as well not exist.
Maybe I'm like just not bought in to the movie itself, but it feels like weak motivation. That's like, oh, it's a treasure. Like, that's great. And I get that that's like the pirate thing, but it feels like that's hard to anchor a movie around.
Why do they want the treasure?
Yeah, what are they going to do with it?
Give me somebody who needs the money.
Yeah.
Tell me why they need the money, why it's important. Yeah, of course, everybody wants money.
Sure.
That's why it's not an interesting motivator. Tell me why they need that money. Make her, she's going to lose her ranch.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Why is
Give
it
me
better for
something.
Gina to have the money than Dog?
Right. Why? They're both pirates.
Is it because she's the protagonist? Because
Right.
that's really weak.
It is. But there are so many points throughout this movie where the dialogue is just absolute complete trash. But even worse than that, this movie is one of the worst tell don't shows I've ever seen.
Oh my goodness.
So much of the exposition is through dialogue, and it drives me nuts.
It feels like they took the script from like a text adventure game.
Right.
It's like, I guess we can act that out.
Right, 100%. Like there are literally parts where she's like, and of course, one of my 3 uncles, both of whom are this way, and they're that way. And then my dad, which him,
Also,
he did this thing.
They're talking so fast sometimes I have no idea what's going on.
I had to turn on subtitles. Like this is the most anti-Doge movie experience I've ever had because I don't split movies up over multiple sittings and I refuse to turn on subtitles. And I did both in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a toughie from top to bottom.
Like at one point, Dog was like intimidating somebody because he's not nice to anybody.
Literally no one.
And it literally sounded like this. He was like, hold on, listen. Like, and I ran it back again and it was like, nope, obrigado, osidare.
Yep. No
That's
words.
what he said.
At one point, a guy on his crew is like, but that's too many miles to fade. And he turns around and just shoots him. And not in like
now
a cool...
there's one less.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, are you proving a point? Because that was a really like, nobody heard what you said.
Dog feels like a G.I. Joe villain.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you have to be cartoony enough that a 4-year-old understands that you're a bad boy.
Yeah. I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
Hey,
yeah.
they didn't die when they fell on rocks.
They didn't die when they fell on rocks,
Because
but
the
to be
ocean
fair,
swept.
right, Poseidon.
Just in time.
Aquaman himself caught them.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of like, oh, I got you.
And Shaw somehow didn't just sweep up to the shore of the rocks. I mean, he's swept up 200 yards
Yep.
in.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yep. And then I guess Gina Davis survived underwater that whole time
Oh, yeah.
until she finally surfaced again.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Both of them with very minimal cuts and bruising.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because the ocean saved them.
That's true. So we were betrayed by the fat guy that releases the pigeon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
That's a really cool character. Reminds me of the character from that one Clint Eastwood movie. I don't remember what it's called. But the guy in the movie, he's the guy who goes around and follows like cowboys and writes novels about them. This guy does that with pirates. That's a very cool character.
yeah, they put an homage to him in Red Dead 2, actually.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But this is when we get our 3-part chase, sort of a situation that becomes a 2-part chase. And it's just all garbage.
Yeah.
Like, it's an action sequence with nothing's happening to anybody important. And when it is, it's tedious. Like, it's drawn out and bloated and long.
Mm-hmm.
I was so bored by this section of this movie.
Like, Shaw is under debris filling up with water for about 40 minutes.
I do want to make sure that we focus on the tarantula squeeze.
That was so gross.
That was weird.
It bled human blood.
I thought that it was going to be like, whenever he like cut the thing off of his neck, I thought that he squeezed the tarantula, looked down and saw blood, and then we were going to look and see a line of blood like on his throat. Like he slit his throat or something, and that was where the blood came. No, it's just red tarantula blood.
Do tarantulas bleed human blood?
No.
Like red blood?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Somebody who knows about animals, please Tell us.
Little things like that. It was like, this is the pirate that crushes tarantulas with his bare hands and also picks up electric eels with his bare hands. I'm not afraid of you.
This is Pirate Steve
gross.
Irwin.
Don't give him that.
Don't give him that.
Don't give him that. He doesn't deserve that. That's not
I
fair.
just thought we had to do that. I didn't mean to take an
it's
aside.
disgusting.
That's real gross.
You're right.
Real gross.
And so, yeah.
So
basically,
Wesley's-
Shaw's tropped under debris, almost drowning for the rest of this movie. Gina Davis is fighting with her comically short sword.
Which we'll bring up too. Modine, we talked about this, was cast because he fences. Wow, what a great guy to play a pirate. How many times did he fight?
Yeah, I think it's one time. Actually, I don't even think he actually fences. He gives somebody instructions on how to fence better.
The weapon design was dumb.
Yeah,
oh, very much.
Her dagger that turns into like a little
The triple dagger?
Yeah.
What kind of mechanism is
What
that?
on earth is happening there?
It turned into Will Smith's Wild Wild West movie.
Yeah.
Like just
that
for a
one
little
gun
bit.
with like 8 barrels.
Yeah.
It's like a pistol with 8 barrels. Who's that going to shoot?
An arm that's a chain.
It could have been awesome.
You guys pretty cool.
It could have been
Everything we're
awesome.
describing sounds like it would be at home in a Mad Max style pirate movie.
Everything we're describing sounds like it could be cool.
Yeah.
And then it's just not.
Not even close.
It's like, it's
Dog
literally
got
like,
his sword from Party City.
If I-
100%.
The
100%.
treasure looks like Party City treasure.
it looks like you can unwrap them and it's chocolate.
Yeah.
If I came to you and I was like, okay, here's some pre-made pizza dough and some sauce. Here's some cheese. Here's some pepperonis. Here's a couple of bell peppers, some onions.
I'm gonna
And
make a pizza.
You just put that together and I'll come back in like an hour. And then
Yeah.
I come back and you're like, I made cookies. And
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? With what I gave you? It's like, yeah.
That's so good.
It's like, no, that's not what. I
No.
made cookies. I just sort of blended it all together, dumped it in a bowl, threw the bowl in the oven. It's like, you don't even know what cookies are, though.
Yeah.
You said cookies, but you baked the bowl. The bowl is melted. It's like, yeah, cookies. That is this movie.
Yeah.
Very
It's
much.
like all of the parts
That's
are there
so
to
good.
make what is supposed to be made. And then at the end, it's like, I melted the bowl. It's all cookies.
Speaking of the end, can we please go to the final confrontation
Please.
between Captain Morgan and her uncle Dog?
I will say
DAWG,
too-
by the way.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I will say too,
Dog.
as we lead up. So this ship's exploded a couple times before it actually blows up.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, that's it. That's what you wanted to say.
Yeah. Why didn't it just blow up the first time?
Well,
We had
because
smaller.
it still had more blowing up to do.
yeah, it wasn't done.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Obviously.
I see
You're being
that.
really
You don't know
close-minded.
anything about ships.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
have this.
Research your boats.
Luckily, so this movie could have just totally bombed, but it really redeemed itself with the final fight between our antagonist and protagonist.
That is my super pump.
The whole fight?
The whole fight between
Why? It doesn't make any sense.
because
No,
specifically,
I love that.
specifically the,
The cannonball. Yeah.
That is one of my favorite moments I've ever seen in a bad movie.
So Callie and I spent this whole scene, all of it, just going like this over and over. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Like
Like when he didn't just
escalating.
cut her head off.
He had
when they
every
decide
opportunity.
to fight in the crow's nest, he's like, I just watched this girl survive a 20-story fall onto rocks. Let me see if
Dismemberment's
this
the only
fall
chance.
kills her.
Yeah. And she tumbles onto a convenient slide
Uh-huh.
of debris, and she rolls down. And was it ever established that cannon was there?
No.
So it wasn't like
No.
a Chekhov's cannon situation. It
No,
was
no.
just like a surprise cannon.
So she's down in the treasure chamber where Wesley's trapped by the treasure
In the chamber.
in the chamber, and he's drowning, and she sucks up some air and spits it in his mouth.
But not how that works.
No.
Unless you're a mermaid and Hook.
correct. And then she shoots her uncle with the cannon. And two things
From about a foot away.
Two things I know about cannons. One, you can usually see the cannonball. And in this one, you can't. The cannonball happens to be invisible.
No, you saw the cannonball.
You don't. I watched that scene 5 times.
For real?
There is no cannonball.
I swear I saw the cannonball.
There is no cannonball.
Aw.
It's just wires that pull him
Aw.
backwards about 200 yards.
Yeah. No kidding.
And the cannonball would go through his tummy before it pushed him
Oh my gosh.
through
Yeah.
several walls of the
He
ship.
would just have a big hole.
And for that reason, this is my super pump. Because I laughed so hard that I cried.
Also, the rest of the movie, like the rest of the cast is watching all of this not far away.
No.
Go help her.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the big bad. Shoot him. Hey, Tattoo Face, you shot a guy already from this far.
Right.
Why aren't we shooting anymore?
Speaking of Tattoo Face, he almost gets his arm, or he does get his arm broken by the wheel, and then he's fine.
His
Break
face
somebody's
looks,
face
his
in that.
looks perforated.
Wait, did you get to like his when he got hurt? His eye makeup to make it look bad was really bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
It's like someone put a prosthetic thumb on his eyelid.
It did. And the guy,
Oh shoot! Yeah,
Trotter, the guy that changes sides, no motivation to do so.
No future in the army.
Well, future in the army, huh?
The end. That's all I did.
What happened to the other guy, the governor?
Oh, he,
Did we just stop seeing him?
yeah,
What
he's gone.
What happens to him?
Wait,
Yeah,
we're
he's
not
gone.
done. So Gina Davis, we're supposed to be like, oh, what is she doing underwater? To which she would reveal later, I was tying this barrel to all the treasure.
It's
But
just loose treasure.
I'm watching. Hey, I see you. It's like someone, like you're playing hide and seek with a kid,
Right.
or you're watching someone cheat at something who just doesn't know any better. And I have to give them, it's like, okay, I'll give you room because you're stupid still.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, but
You don't get why this can't
I just
be.
see her looking up. I see Gina Davis's face looking up. It's like, okay, counting to herself because she's been directed to just, okay, put your head underwater for enough time to make us think. She's not doing anything. There's no moving of
Yeah.
her body.
Nothing.
They went ahead and had us look at it. So stupid.
The guy who is first going to be executed when we go to the auction at Port Royal waits for his mark, by the way.
Does he really?
Yeah. They say, they like tell him his fate, and he's like standing frozen, and then the guards start to move him, and he's like, no, please.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Wow.
it's
The people that, in that same scene, the two guys that notice that it's Morgan that's on the wanted poster,
from that like scribble
Yes.
drawing.
and they're just like, huh? Like, they're just so bad.
They are Splinter Cell villains.
They're
just like,
Do you think that could be it? I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Let's go look.
So the ship blows up.
It does.
That's a big
Big
old
time.
explosion, dude.
Big time.
C4, baby.
And they
They swan dive.
swan dive.
No, I mean, why-
This is still part of my super pump.
Why
By
is
the way.
it-
My super pump
Oh.
is the cannon shot all the way through the swan dive
It's
into the ocean.
synchronized.
Completely synchronized. Olympic style.
Yeah, amazing.
It's
And
like,
then
do you
they
remember
land.
Homestar Runner, the action movie where he
Yes.
goes, I think I'm gonna have to jump.
Yes.
That's what it
That's
felt
what
like
this
to
is.
me.
And then they land and they have the best exchange of poorly acted dialogue in this movie. We mentioned it earlier where Wesley goes, well, at least we're alive. And we're both alive together. There'll be other treasures. And Gina Davis goes,
Yeah, but what do you think? Like, evidently in that pirate world, this was a scenario because Shaw kind of knew what she was talking about. Because I don't know, for me personally, and here it is. I live in 2019, right? I'm
Sure.
not a pirate.
Yeah.
no.
But if someone's to say, well, what's on the other side of the barrel? I'm like, oh, no idea.
crab
The other
trap.
side of the barrel, another map. Is it like a skin barrel with a map on
Is
it?
it your dad's head? Is the barrel your dad's head?
But Shaw was like, you tied the treasure to this barrel, didn't you? Like, what? So ridiculous.
Hey, and then at the end, when she's like, who wants to like keep being a pirate? And everybody's like, no, I don't think so. And she's like, okay, let's keep being pirates.
No, here's what happens. Tattoo Face, like everyone's quiet and they're like, oh, Tattoo's Face, like, oh, I've always wanted to be a farmer.
Everybody's like, you
everybody starts
idiot.
laughing.
You
Like,
can't be a farmer.
Madagascar.
and then zoom out the end.
No, let's sit for one more second. They all say no. I
Yeah.
don't want to be pirates anymore. And then she's like, onward.
Sorry, we're going to go be pirates and I'm about to go get some pirate booty. That's basically how it went.
Yeah.
Clutch.
Oh, Wii
man.
Sports.
Very
Everybody
good,
is
very
so
good.
Everybody is
She was
just
like,
a hankering for Wii
You,
Sports.
though, you meet me in the Wii Sports room.
Yeah, I mean, really. And then it's the end.
Then it's the end.
I couldn't get over the fact that the end of the movie was, you guys want to keep doing this? No. All right, let's keep doing this.
Yeah, right?
So, man, I guess we should rate this movie to close out our pirate chapter of Shiver Me Septimbers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like our pirate series went kind of the way of their boat. Where I was like, oh, it's pretty, oh, good boat, good boat, good boat. Oh
Bad
my
boat.
God,
It's a bad
blowing
boat.
up.
It's a bad boat.
Yes, it's a bad
So,
boat.
One final time, I invite in Squinty, Rum Pot, Broadsides.
Yarr.
God, it
I love that
terrifies me.
Squinty starts every sentence with "yar."
It's how I announce myself to the world.
Yeah, I get it.
Here's how the movies be rating. The scientific cinema scale. The best thing say about a movie
About being a woman.
is the prerogative to have a little fun. And also, own it, don't lend it. Buy that poster. After that is buy it, then rent it. After that be stream it, then forget it.
Which you almost forgot.
And last, but certainly least, the worst thing a pirate could ever be saying about a movie. God has forsaken us.
Is that just going to be one continuous glob of like,
Yeah, pretty much
okay.
every week.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, great. Thanks, Squinty. Goodbye.
Bye forever.
Bye, Squinty.
Miss you. My
Walk
throat
the,
won't,
walk
but I
the
will.
plank to the golden pirate ship in the sky.
You earned it, buddy. Hey, I'll go first.
Please.
Yeah, I'm really struggling here, and here's why. This is a God hath forsaken us. But I think it's so important that everybody watches this movie at some point in their lifetime. So here's what I'm saying. On an actual scale, this is one of the worst things I've ever watched, which is why you have to watch it. So yeah, I'm landing at God hath forsaken us, but also please go. It's free if you have a Stars subscription. You can get it through Amazon. There's a free trial. It is just go start your free Stars trial, watch the movie, and then cancel it. It's worth it. I hated this.
For much the same line of reasoning, I am giving this movie a stream it.
Ooh.
It is unequivocally the worst movie I've ever seen. This is the only movie in my life that I have not been able to stomach. I mentioned it earlier. I watched the first half of this and turned it off and just said, man, I need a break from this very bad movie. But there are so many things, like the cannon shot at the very end,
Yeah.
that I have found on YouTube and texted to people and been like, you've got to see this. It's the wildest thing in the world. So I don't think I've been forsaken completely.
Yeah.
So I've got to give it a stream it.
Yeah. I was thinking back to Run the Tide.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is it? My actual least favorite movie we've ever done on this. And Run the Tide, I think I gave A God Has Forsaken Us.
Yeah.
And let me tell you the difference that $134 million makes.
Sure.
Something that I want my friends to see.
Yeah.
I want you to see some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I would share this with you. It is fine. It would be fine. Let's just go find clips. We don't necessarily have to watch the movie.
Sure. It's
but we are
very long
streaming
movie.
some
We didn't
stuff.
talk about
It's
that.
only 2 hours. It's
I know.
1 hour and 59 minutes.
But it's very long.
But it feels like days.
So it's a stream it. I say stream because I literally want to share this.
Yeah. No, and again, I want to be very clear. I don't think this will be the last time I watch this movie in my life.
Yeah.
It is,
Probably
however,
not.
A God Has Forsaken Us for me.
That makes
without a
complete
doubt.
sense.
But like, I want to almost like torture, like for the same reason that I wanted all my friends to play PT and be like, I'm gonna go to the other room, but you tell me after you're done playing it.
Yeah.
I want to do the same thing with this movie.
It's like a form of emotional and mental trauma that you're like, you have to experience this so I can relate to you.
We're closer if we like. We're
Yeah.
closer if we share this.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Hey, come on. Let's go.
So that concludes Shiver Me Septimbers.
Not with a bang, but with a whimper.
Oh.
It's a bang.
Ha ha ha.
Gina?
Yeah, she's here. Channel your inner Gina. Next week, we will be reviewing Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
The most fearsome pirate in all of Gotham.
Right. And then after that, we begin our march, our Imperial March,
Ooh, yeah.
through the Star Wars saga.
Crazy thing is, it's going to be my first time to see any of these movies.
I'm excited to finally get to know who Spock is.
Something that's really who is Spock? It'll be fun because I think we're gonna watch. We're gonna try and watch a lot of these with someone we know that actually hasn't seen any of them.
Oh, cool.
Whoa.
So that'll be an interesting take.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
To end today's episode, I'd like for us each to say our name and give our best explosion impression from this movie. For Two Chunks and a Hunk, I'm Jordan Wonders, and mine goes like this. Boom!
Boom!
I'm Doge, and here's mine. Clayton.
Oh, nice.
I'm Carter, and here's my explosion. That hurt
I love this.
more than my throat. That hurt my whole body.